Hey guys, it's Courtney King with King Realty and Management. Today we are talking about how to prepare your kids for home ownership. So yesterday I actually read an article very briefly that was talking about how millennials don't think home ownership is like a priority, and they just had some negative comments about home ownership. And then I kind of rewind back to a couple of weeks ago. I met with a friend who has a nephew who's 19, and she asked me, Courtney, what can I give to my nephew now that will prepare him to invest or even buy his own personal residence years down the line? And I said, that's a great question. So I figured I'd share my experience in hopes that it can help you prep your kids or any other young person that's in your life for home ownership. So number one, to take it all the way back, my parents, before I graduated high school, was like, Courtney, we're not paying for college. So if you're going to go to college, you need to be out there, hustle for scholarships, because we're not paying for college. We're not getting loans, none of that. So having that as a high school student in the back of my mind, always that, look, I'm going to get scholarships and my parents aren't going to help me, kind of motivated me at that age to stack as much cash as I could, but to work a job in high school as well as college. So that's what I did. The next thing that I think really helped me was my freshman year of college. My dad said, Courtney, I want you to get a credit card. And parents are like, wait, what? My college student getting a credit card? Well, there's another conversation, obviously, that you have with them about this, because obviously discipline and stuff is very, very important. But he said, get a credit card. And he said, I want you to buy all of your gas and your groceries and use the card for that. And then every month, I want you to pay it off in full. So that's exactly what I did. So doing that for about 3.5 years, by the time that I exited college, I had damn near perfect credit score. So somewhere in the 700s. And this is right out of college, okay? So I realized that some people, well, it's twofold. You got to have that conversation with your child about discipline and really teach them, even at an early age. But some people may be a little bit leery with credit cards and stuff like that. Well, my parents, ever since I was a young kid, is always talking about good credit and home ownership and this, that, and the other. And so I think the earlier you start talking to them about these things, and I even do it with my young siblings, the more responsible I feel like they'll be a little bit later on in life. And then obviously there's limits that you can place. So my very first credit card as a freshman, I think it only had like a $300 limit. By the time I graduated, it was like a $10,000 limit. But there are different checks and balances that you can put in place. I really, really, really believe that having done that as a freshman in college really helped me, because I believe it was maybe 3 years out of college, I bought my first house. And so a combination of having the good credit and then making sure that I stacked money all the time, I didn't eat up everything that I was making, helped me so that I had a little bit of a down payment to put down on my first house. So I would say, and I'm not bragging, I'm just kind of giving the young people hope. By the time I turned 30, I think I had owned at least 5 properties or so, not including the ones that my dad and I have bought and sold together. So I just think starting the conversation, because let's face it, they're not teaching this stuff in school at all. I mean, we're not even go there, but they're not teaching kind of the benefits of home ownership, and then just the practical things that you can do to save and prepare. I should have started off with this, but I didn't. If you are not a homeowner, but you are a parent, I think you can still educate them. I mean, I think that you can use your experience in life thus far with encouraging them to go and look for the knowledge and sharing different things like this video with them. to help them and school them. So even if you're not a homeowner, you could still instill these things in your children. And even though technically I'm a millennial, I'm like the older millennial, homeownership is very important to me. And so why just give money away to these landlords, even though I'll take your money since I'm a landlord, but why just give your money away when you can buy something? And I think too, especially when you're talking to kids or even early college students, there's so many variables. You're like, where am I gonna live? You know, what if I decide to move, you know, in 2 years to another state? There's a lot of variables, but I think a lot of times millennials and, you know, and maybe younger people, they think that by buying a house, you're going to be like totally tied down and there's no recourse, and, you know, you basically sign your life away. And I don't know where people started getting this, but at any point in time, if I decided to sell my house or any other property that I own, I can do it. Like, I don't feel or operate with the perception that it's tying me down forever, because that first house that I bought really started making me think as a landlord, started making me think of, okay, how can I use my money, or where can I put my money so that it's going to generate even more money? And just a quick little deal, that property I bought was so cheap. My mortgage with my taxes and insurance, and this is when I was 22, was $600 a month. I rented the property out for $12.95 a month. And I had it in my mind, I didn't want to use any of that money, so I just let that money stack, you know? So these are the things that we've got to be teaching our young people. So maybe if I get enough, I guess, feedback from you guys or from other folks, if we wanted to do kind of like a prep for homeownership, specifically targeting young people, you know, in your life, definitely comment below or share this video, because I'd be more than happy to kind of put something a little bit more structured together just to talk about the things, why somebody would want to be a homeowner, how they prepare, the little steps that you can take, especially at a young age, whether or not your parents are on board, that is going to set you up for the future. So now, as an adult, as a business owner, I'm not afraid to buy a property. I know what to look for, and then I know what I need to do on a regular basis to continue to make sure my credit and my savings and money and different investments are in a place that's going to allow me to continue to invest in property later on. So if you know any young people that may be interested in learning more specifics, because I realize that this video is very, very quick, definitely maybe drop their name below, and depending on the feedback that we get, I'd be happy to kind of put something together. So just a few tips from my life that has worked for me. I realize that not everything that I do will work for anybody else, but little things that are kind of based on sound principles that could help anybody, I'm happy to share. So thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Feel free to reach out to us, kingrealtytx.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at kingrealtydfw, and then YouTube, which is youtube.com/kingrealtytx. So I will talk to you later, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day.